This is my favorite part of the car, so I'm just gonna chill out here for a bit. Someone bring me a drink. Ready? Here we are. This is the moment. The Centodieci in real life. This is so exciting, you guys. What's up? Supercar Blondie here at Pebble Beach in California. Come with me. Should we start at the back? Because that's really where I'm just falling in love with this car. On the pictures, I didn't actually realize that they would be 3D. You see how they totally come out here. For me, these taillights make this car. That's really, really beautiful. On the Chiron, the tail light kind of runs along the back of the body here, but it's attached to the body. And then on the Devo, you do have like this kind of 3D tail light element, but not to this level. Like, this is quite extreme. You may realize that this looks somewhat like the EB110 that came out in the 90s, especially here, this design element here on the side. These air intakes, that's actually functional. It's not just for design purposes. That's going to feed straight into the engine and help cool that down. There's an EB110 right here. Just come and take a look at this. You see they have very similar design element here on the side. This is a W16 8-litre, and it's actually going to have 100 more horsepower than the Chiron, so 1600 horsepower. They're not officially bringing out any 0 to 100 stats yet. We have heard around 2.4 seconds, but of course isn't actually yet in production, so they've still got to test all of that out. As soon as they have those official stats, I'm going to get those over to you guys. Why in the world have they brought the EB110 back? We're going to talk to Frank a little bit more about why they have chosen that era to bring back, and I think that's probably a good time right now to invite him in. Are you guys ready? Frank's ready. What's up, man? Nice to see you.
Where is he?
How are you? Nice to see you, always. This is Frank, everyone. If you haven't seen him on my previous Bugatti videos, he is the head designer of exterior at Bugatti, and the perfect person to talk to about why this looks the way it does. Where do we start? I mean, the whole 110th anniversary, you were talking to me earlier about why you're bringing the 90s back. I love the 90s, by the way. 90s best decade
best
ever.
Music ever.
Best music ever! Yes, I totally agree with you.
Early on in the year, this is the 110th anniversary of the company, so we thought we use this year to reflect back onto our very colorful history. Actually, there's been many ups and downs in the company history, and early on in the year in Geneva, we had the La Voiture Noire, which paid homage to the actual original Type 57 SC Atlantic, and we thought it's also time now actually to recognize and to actually look back at the 90s as well. This is a fantastic car. So you have to see, they had 4 turbochargers in the 90s, 4-wheel drive, broke a lot of records with this car.
Right.
It's an outstanding car.
So this was like the superstar of the era, right? The EB110.
Yeah.
And so you guys wanted to kind of pay homage to that superstar element and bring it back. Should we have a look? You can see definitely with the 3 separate air intakes at the front and the smaller horseshoe, looks quite similar.
This comes from the proportion. To us designers, proportion is the most important thing. How high is the car? How wide is it? What are the overhangs? How big are the wheels? What the wheelbase? And what is the gesture? How's the volume actually?
Yeah, okay.
So, and the volume of this is a wedge, basically. That's a new thing for us.
It's a wedge.
It's a wedge. Forward-facing, forward-leaping wedge. It's a wedge on wheels. Look at the EB110. That is basically the typical 90s era Italian supercar.
Can you point out what you think is actually bringing the EB110 into the future with this car?
Yeah, right. You have to get a good view of the profile of the car from the side. So you see these lines are sloping downwards. That's a first for us, actually.
Oh yeah.
And because usually on the Veyron, on the Chiron, also on the Divo, we have this kind of sovereign gesture in the car where it's kind of leaning back a little bit.
Okay.
So here it's all leaping forward.
Right.
And that's what connects the car also to the styling of the EB110.
Right, because that line also goes forward.
It goes forward, yeah.
Okay.
Having said that, the body side of the EB110 is completely flat. The body side of this has a lot of sculpture change between concave, convex, and, if I may say so, the sexy muscle of the rear wheel arch, the bulging wheel arches. To get this wedge, we had to lower the front.
Okay.
So usually on the Chiron, also on the Veyron, we have an upright horseshoe, and that makes the bonnet a bit higher. So here we actually reduced the size of the horseshoe, another citation to the EB110, to get the bonnet lower, to actually start this wedge line off in a lower place. And this is also why the back is a little bit higher.
Right.
Usually if you tell a designer make the back higher, he will say, oh no, let's not do that.
We need to talk about this kind of C curve that Bugatti is known for. You see it really here on the Chiron, right? It's very curved, and then here on the Divo it's also curved, just a little bit smaller like this. But here now, Frank, you've got kind of, it's not curved at all, it's kind of squared off.
That's right, we start off with the visor theme, so from the top edge of the windscreen we run into the C line or the Bugatti line. Yeah. But it's much more edgy and wedged angle, right? So it's a new interpretation of our Bugatti line.
I feel lost though, it's meant to be curved.
Well, this is the beauty of actually being able to do all these coach build projects. Yeah. Right? We have our main product, which is the Chiron, and from that as a base we can shoot into very specific other directions. Okay. Like with the La Voiture Noire, next time, right? With the Divo, or with this car. So next time we're not even going to see a C, we're going to see like a T shape, and you were like, yeah, it's cool guys, don't worry about it. No, we'll have to give up the C, it'll be a C.
Actually, when you mentioned that this is like a visor, it is. I didn't realize that before. So this you can't see through. This is a support.
It's a structural element. You need for rollover, for stability. So it's a blacked out A-pillar that connects visually really with the screen and the side. Okay, we can't go without sussing out what's happening in the back, because this is actually my favorite angle to look at the car and what is going on with these exhausts. That's right. We created so much more downforce in the front that we also needed to counterbalance the downforce on the rear. So we put the wing, but we also worked on the efficiency of the diffuser. So normally on a Chiron, the exhausts are in the middle. And those are kind of inspired by an F6 Lightning jet afterburner. So you have the two double barrel stacked up on top of each other. Can we have the afterburn effect though? Can we have them like light up? Shall I turn them on? It's remote. You know? I love it. That'd be so cool though, hey? Like LED lights around them, just so that we can kind of see them afterburn. Anything else here that you wanted to point out? I mean, the lights, the 3D. So you see on the back of a EB110, there are these ventilation slots, and it's a similar theme with these strips of lights. Like the ventilation slots, even though it's inverted, right? And it's still functional because they actually stream through to ventilate the engine bay. Obviously you couldn't just bring these lights here in the front and pop them on something in 2019. This wouldn't work. Those lights were already quite unusual in the 90s, with them being so close together, with having an actual air outlet, and there was nowhere to be seen in those times. So we made a headlight that is still very close together, but super slim, and has an integrated air outlet, and that air outlet actually relieves the pressure from the wheel wells, so that actually creates downforce in the front. The rims as well, Frank, you've got 7-spoke here. You guys definitely wanted to get that element in the new car as well. Congratulations, it's all been sold. It's obviously very loved in the market, and there are details on it that I absolutely congratulate you for. They're so stunning. I can't wait to see what's next. To be pointed out is the baby of our boss, Mr. Anschad, our design director. So he did a lot of sketchwork himself, but it's also never to be completed without a good team. And I get to stand here, okay, but I represent our team. Of course, it's a whole team. There's a lot of talent in our team, and I'm very honored to be able to work together. You're just the camera talent. He's the TV talent. I'm the TV face. You're the TV. This wing here, you couldn't literally pop this on something in 2019 either, could you? Imagine seeing this being brought back. It's like a table, you could just eat off this, shouldn't it? It makes a good bar, huh? Yeah, it does. Your wing is completely different, obviously. That one could act still as a bar though, couldn't it? No. Shall we design some cup holders? Yeah, I actually... Why is this not happening already? Cup holders on the back, incorporated into the wing. Now that's an idea, right? Frank, I want to see this on the next design. On that, right. Yeah. That's our idea. You can't steal that, guys. This is my favorite part of the car, so I'm just going to chill out here for a bit.
Someone bring me a drink.
Should we?
Yeah, I'll just sit here and chill out. Alright guys, I think that's it. Give us a quick thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. This is where you get to see the coolest cars in the world. Massive thanks to Frank. We'll see you on the next video, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And for now, we're out. Love ya. Bye.